Renewing your mind is like playing spades. That's a card game. This is one of my favorite analogies. In spades, there will be a moment, unless you're a pro probably, where someone lays down a card that seems unbeatable and you think, I'm cooked. That is exactly how the enemy plays around with our mind. To lay down cards could be anything. And so many times these thoughts go by unnoticed because they sound like our thoughts. Stuff like, I'm not enough. I can't handle this. God's gonna fail me. I need this to be happy. And sometimes, in this analogy, the enemy throws down the king of spades. It's a thought that you don't know how to take captive, or it's something that might seem so convincing, some kind of stronghold that has been in your mind for years and years. It's heavy, and it might immediately send your mind into rumination and your body into fight or flight. This is the key in those moments. You have to remember you have the ace of spades. The ace is God himself. His power, his presence, his promises. The rest of the cards you have in your hand, that is scripture that God has given us. It is the word from his mouth. Every verse you know, every concept of truth that you've learned, every passage you meditate on. But you have to know this about renewing your mind. There is no specific passage for each lie. It's not that only this verse fights this specific lie. Thankfully, that's not the way it works. It says all scripture is God-breathed. It's more like the more cards you have, the stronger your hand becomes. This is strategy. It's not enough to just hold the cards. You have to play them in faith. That's what it means to renew your mind. This is what so many people misunderstand about scripture, and it's why they're not really seeing any change. When they're trying to just speak scripture over thoughts, they are not actually applying them in faith. This isn't something to be ashamed of. It's just something you have to change. This is about applying scripture to your situation by faith. What the enemy desperately doesn't want you to know is that the strategy is always the same, period. If you're panicking right now about faith, it is so simple. Best prayer you can pray is, I believe, help my unbelief. Faith and trust, belief, all of that simply starts with the choice to lean towards what God says and not what you feel. That's what it means when it says trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Jesus says, if you have faith, even as small as a mustard seed, you can say to the mountain, go and throw yourself into the sea. Big, strong, luscious faith. Faith has to build. Every choice to lean into what God says, that is a brick in the wall of faith. It doesn't take the feeling of faith to say to the mountain, go throw yourself in the sea. It's the smallest inkling of willingness to say to God, I believe, you gotta help my unbelief though. Because right now, the unbelief is bigger than the mountain. You can feel scared, weak, and doubtful, but every time the enemy throws down that ace of spades, trying to scare you, trying to convince you that whatever circumstance you're dealing with, God is not big enough. God is not powerful enough. All you do is choose to apply faith and say, God, I believe, help my unbelief. I know you're going to work through the faith that I am applying. Anytime a lie shows up, choose trust in God time and time again. Redirect your trust towards God instead of what the enemy is saying. Even Jesus said, it is written. So when the enemy is saying stuff like you're not enough, lay down that trump card. If the God who created time and space and everything else that we don't even have the capacity to comprehend, if he would die for me, that's proof I'm enough. That's proof that my worth is beyond my understanding. If that's how God himself thinks of me, then I'm going to choose to think that way too. Lord, right now I don't feel like I'm enough, so help me trust. Build my faith. Don't wait around for your feelings to change before you take action, because your body has learned over years and years of ruminating to respond to negative thoughts with negative feelings. As you keep applying scripture by choosing faith, your mind slowly starts to rewire. This is the process that it's talking about in Philippians 4. So if you want to experience freedom, you have to put your faith in action. It's life or death. You have to spend time in God's presence. It doesn't matter if you don't know what to do, what passages to read, what to pray. Just ask God. He will help you. Scripture is described as our very life. It's the word out of God's mouth that sustains us and helps us find satisfaction in Him, hope, peace, joy, and everything else we need to be able to experience abundant life. So when you commit to applying Scripture in faith to any and all intrusive thoughts, even the enemy's king of spades cannot steal your peace. So don't just hold those cards in your hand. You got to play them, know them, and trust them. You have the Ace of Spades, the most powerful card that trumps everything else. It is the God card, and God always wins.